Hello, everybody. Welcome back again to another episode about ZBrush and jewelry. My name is Nacho Riesco. We will be here during the next 2 hours sculpting jewelry design with ZBrush. Well, today we are gonna be working about a little bit completely different thing and a coin design as you have seen on the cover of the video. I have been making this design during my previous streamings. This is going to be the third month I'm going to be here streaming, working on this design. I used to stream once a month, so this is my third month. So January I started this design in November. So we today is going to be the last day about this design. Hope is going to be interesting for you. So let me check the settings of the streaming. Let me know if you can hear me. The music is not too loud and you are comfortable enough watching this video. So let's start working. So welcome, Visa. Hola, bienvenido. We can speak in Spanish, we can speak in English, whatever you want. I'm trying to do my best in English. So I'm from Spain. So let's start working. Just leave your comments, suggestions on the chat. I will try to pay as more attention to the chat just in case you are having questions or comments about what I'm doing. I'm here for helping, so I will be glad to help you with any problems you're having with ZBrush or any doubts that you're having sculpting your or jewelry designs with ZBrush. And okay, so let's see, let's put everything in place and let's start working. I don't know if you are watching me on, yes, I think it looks like this channel is working, YouTube channel is working, it's working, and okay, perfect. Feliz año para ti también, Giselle. Para este 2026, no sé, ha empezado el año un poco raro. Espero que como mínimo sea igual de bueno que el 2025. Con ganas, aunque bueno, la verdad es con algunas dudas al comienzo del año, pero espero que se vayan solucionando pronto. Y con ganas, eso es lo importante. Okay, so let's start working. This is okay, looks like everything works. Okay, so as I have been saying before, I'm gonna try to finish the piece today. So I used to be 3 sessions for each design. Once I'm reaching the 3rd session, I am start thinking about what is going to be the next one. I don't know yet. You can suggest your tastes, or you have any preference about possible future themes. Of course, everything related with jewelry designs, with jewelry, maybe kind of different styles and stuff like that. So I will start thinking about what is going to be the next, but at the moment I haven't got any idea yet. So let's keep working on this. At the point that we are now, we are just I'm just making the small adjustments, because when we are working with a portrait, we are following a portrait of a person, it is in my opinion, it is an endless job. That means that every time you are watching the reference, every time you are finding mistakes, so you're making observation, finding mistake, observing mistakes. That's the reason why I always am having the feeling that this is an endless job when you are creating a portrait of a person. So at some point you should start thinking about to stop working, because or at the end the last word will be for the client. If the client is saying okay, go ahead, so then you start. It's the moment to stop retouching and start working on the design, but it is an endless job when we are creating, because every time you are watching the reference, every time you are observing, and you are finding different things, different forms, mistakes about the likeness, the mistakes about the proportion. Okay. It's crazy. I think, in my opinion, this when we talk about jewelry, we talk about jewelry. In this case, it is of course it is not 100% jewelry, but more or less is close to jewelry, because we can create a medal, for example, from this piece of a signet ring or pieces of jewelry. Many people are requesting to you, sending a picture from a beloved or loved parent or something similar, and they are looking for to create a jewelry piece, convert this to create a relief, then create a medal of a coin from that person. And in my opinion, this is one of the most difficult commission that you can receive, the likeness, because it is a very subjective work. That means that not everybody is watching or it's finding the same thing when you are observing, or when you are looking at a person, even if it is a well-known person for you, or it's a well-known person for everybody. I mean, when it is a famous person, it's many times very difficult to keep everything happy with the result. But at some point, and I have been saying before, you have to stop and say it is done. Oops. Hey Fexter, how you doing? Welcome to this new year. Let's go. Yeah, let's go for a year follows. Yeah, I will try at least till March. I will try to be here streaming. Let's see what happens after March. Let's see what I do. Maybe I'm thinking about taking a different direction, maybe. Not sure yet, but I will try to be here, because for me it's a very fun time that I spend here with you, with all of you, sculpting live, chatting with you, and commenting things, and this is it's a very good moment. But in terms of optimize the time, maybe I am start thinking about changing or taking new decisions for this year, but I'm not sure. Let's see what happens. Okay, let's keep working on the face. We can use the diamond standard brush for making the deeper lines or cavities, like this. This brush. You have any comment or any questions about what is already made, or any doubts that you're having about something you are watching? Because this is the third session. I started this from scratch, so from zero. I was explaining on my previous streamings the whole process since the beginning. So if any of you is interested on know something about how I did something, any specific part of the design, you can go to the Maxon ZBrush YouTube channel and revisit or review my previous streamings about this. Maybe too strong. Let's see. Also, the light is very important, so we are trying to replicate the same light from the reference, or at least to try to replicate it. It is not 100% possible, but that means that we are changing the light. You can see how everything changes. The volume completely changes. This is a good feature that we have inside of ZBrush, when we can change the orientation of the light even when we are sculpting reliefs. So, and we can check how the light reacts on the surface. This is very helpful for find possible mistakes. But I think, oops, you are double clicking, you are sending the light to the back, right? Just double clicking again to this orange dot to bring it to the front again. And that's it. I already have the image attached to the floor, to the grid, so I can follow better some parts of the anatomy. I was explaining this on my previous streamings, how to attach the image to the floor, how to use different materials for checking that everything is working fine. The changing different materials, because in some cases they can be useful when you're sculpting. Some materials are giving us more information than others in terms of light, shadows, and so on. I was explaining, I think, many tricks, or well, I don't like to call them tricks or tips, because maybe we can say my way of working. So some workflows or one techniques that I use during my daily work. So many of them I have learned, all of I know, from many other different artists. Combining with your own technique, of course, that means that I always say that everything is already invented. So, but when you adapt something to your requirements, maybe you can call it your own tip, but all the tips and all the techniques always comes from more artists and from a different person. That's the reason why I don't like to call them tips, as I invented them. But just for give them a name, so tips or tricks about, or techniques, maybe we can call them better techniques instead of tricks. You can say I like to be here, try, or at least trying to talking during the whole streaming. I have been watching other artists here on the same channel, on the ZBrush channel, where they are just sculpting and that's it. They are concentrated about what they are doing, but I prefer to be explaining to you what I'm doing live, just for giving to you during the streaming as more information as possible, just for being as more useful as possible to all of you, not just for all of you who are here watching the streaming live. So to all of you who are watching this video, so that you can learn something from me, not just being here watching me working, sitting on my desk, sculpting what I want. Boa tarde, Willy Barbosa. Welcome. I don't know how to say welcome in Portuguese, maybe bienvenido, same like in Spanish, but I'm not sure. Okay, let's go with the leaves on the back. We have this part. I was making the necessary parts. I'm gonna make this piece a little bit thicker. Let's nope. Let's try to grab this portion also. We can go here. I also forgot to tell you here on my the bottom of my face you have access to my link tree. I will copy and paste it. That bot who is posting comments on the chat tweets. Remember me that I can share with you my link tree. What is it? Okay, just hold on for a minute. This is here. I'm going to copy, Control C, and there you go. This is my link tree. You will get access to my link tree where you have all the buttons to my social media. So even you have access to free content. In this case, you have access to these 3 Keyshot 9 materials, just in case you are using Keyshot for your renderings. They are for free. So you have access to my website, to my Arstation, to my Behance, Instagram, YouTube, so on. So if any of you is interested on my job, so you can visit all of my places, my portfolios on the social media. So, up to you. Let's close this. Let's open this again. Okay. And let's convert this into Dynamesh. I prefer to work with Dynamesh. I have to say that depending on the kind of job that you are doing, or depending on at the moment of the sculpting process that you are, maybe it has more sense using Dynamesh or ZBrush or a regular quad mesh, depending on what you are doing, because many people are asking which is the proper way or which is the best way, using Dynamesh or a regular quad mesh or ZBrush. And maybe the answer is depending on what you are doing, depending on what point you are on your sculpting process, maybe it has more sense using Dynamesh or regular quad meshes. So in conclusion, there isn't only one answer to that question. Depends. Maybe I'm going to hide this. Now I'm trying to sculpt the profile of the leaf that is having here on the top left corner. So maybe I'm using this brush. It's going to be useful with more strength. Maybe we can do something more like this. This is going to be necessary to turn this on. That means this is giving to me that I have went too far, because I am opening here a window or an empty space that I need to bring this to the front a little bit, like this. The same thing here. And the very useful technique here when you're using the move brush, when you're pressing the Alt key, you can move the mesh perpendicular to the normals. In this case, it's very fast. It's a very fast way to bring things to the front when we are, of course, when we are working with reliefs. So that means that we are moving things perpendicular to the surface. So just pressing the Alt key from the keyboard. Let's going down, for example, here. We need something more or less like this. Let's go back. Here, and then we're gonna sculpt this profile here, and we can go here like this. We can follow the contour with the background image. Like this and like this. It's looking nice, looking good, at least at this point. Maybe we can, that you can see here, this part of the mesh is very close to the cut on the back. Remember that we are sculpting in a 0.3 millimeter space, so this is going to be very thin and very small, minimum relief. That's because that's the reason why of the title of the streaming, because we are sculpting a relief for a coin, not for maybe for a medal or for any other applications where we can use higher reliefs, higher sea depth or high of the relief. Now here we are working with very small relief. Most of the time when you are receiving commissions about coins and about medals, companies which are minting or which are creating relief for coins or stuff like this. This is a kind of the relief commission that you can receive being a digital sculptor. So working on the coin industry and the mint and the medal or minting industry for numismatics. It's one of the many applications that you can, many jobs that you can apply when you are a digital sculptor. They can be converted into jewelry objects or just commemorative medals or coins. There are many industries, many companies which are creating this kind of who are looking for digital sculptors for creating this kind of commissions. That's the reason why I found this theme interesting for this free streamings, which we are now, where we are now. Okay, let's go. Maybe this part is good enough. I like to use this feature, the move brush with the AQ curve option active, just for breaking the curves, just for giving them more rhythm, creating peaks like this. Okay, let's start detailing the lips. Here we have, you can see here we have a bunch of lips. Remember that they are not real geometry. If we go to the dynamic subdivision and we turn this on, they are still flat. They are just surfaces. So at some point it's going to be necessary to convert them into real polygons. Just clicking on the apply button. Apply. Maybe we can make them a little bit thicker, like this. And now we can start subdivide. maybe we can, before start subdividing, maybe it could be a good idea creasing the borders between different polygroups. Pushing this button, crease PG, crease polygroups, and now from here we can start subdividing 1, 2, 3 times. So we are below half of a million. Maybe it's gonna be enough. I have applied a small polishing to the edges, and now let's start detailing the leaf. Let's start from this one. Maybe we can grab this brush and maybe we can start sculpting this. I'm gonna use this brush, T Trim Dynamic, just for breaking a little bit the edge, just for giving them more sense of perspective, not so blocky as they were before. So maybe we can apply some kind of a texture on the surface like this. Let's go with this one. We can still be using the move topology, so we can differentiate different meshes. In this case, it's going to be very useful because we are going to be able to move them individually using this brush, move topological brush. Maybe we can apply here kind of with a slash kind of hair texture, right? This. Let's go with the leaves again. Okay. Okay, with the inflate brush, we can inflate the border with more intensity. Okay, something like this. Let's go with this one. Let me turn on and off the reference, maybe because this leaf is having this form, this shape here. Okay, so let's get this. Okay. Also, you how to make this with a specific technique that I use when I am sculpting leaves or feathers. This is going to be very useful when we can say let's divide one more time. So we are reaching 1 million, so we are having better defining details. So when you have to create this theme, I think this, I'm talking about this. Let me show you. Whoop. Let's make this a little bit bigger, like this. I'm talking about this line. It's a raised line. It's the stem, or I don't know how to, on a nerve. Very typical when we talk about leaves. When we talk about feathers, the name is different. I don't remember it now in English, but I'm sure that you know what I meant. This is a very fast, accurate way of sculpting this. I will show you how it's storing your move target first. Then you can start making a cavity like this. Okay, and now you can grab the morph brush, and then you can create this theme. And you can incorporate it very naturally. Like this. Just recording the let's go with this one. Let's go with this one. Let's go with the border first. Maybe we can grab now stream dynamic. No, you know this. I'm looking for this one, stream dynamic. Just for the tricky part about reliefs when we are sculpting reliefs is I have been saying this many times during my previous streamings. This is one of the most challenging things about reliefs is like we are sculpting, we are trying to work between the two worlds, between the 2D and the 3D world. I mean that we are just sculpting things from one angle, mostly from the front view, and at the same time we are trying to sculpt the forms and trying to create a fake perspective effect, because when we are drawing or when we are painting, so we can achieve that with many different techniques or forms of sculpting details. But it is very important, and one of this is trying to work with the borders, as I am doing here. It's like we are watching the leaf from the front, that we are having the sense that he is bending back, or it's having a more rounded form instead of a flat surface. And this is very complicated and very tricky part of the reliefs. And this is one of the things that I like to sculpt the more when we talk about reliefs. Maybe I'm going to change the material. Maybe we can go with this. Maybe we can change let's start working with this. Okay, there are many leaves. I will try to go as fast as possible, just for not being here making a very boring streaming, but then it's anyway, it's interesting. Okay, let's see. Remember that you can turn on and turn off the topological feature to any brush. I am going to use now the Move Infinity brush, but I'm going to apply the topological feature, so I'm going to be able to modify or to edit each piece of its mesh individually. So remember that you can apply this feature to any brush. Some cases it could be very useful. Don't forget it. This is a very useful feature inside of ZBrush. Now I'm using the Alt key as before here to bring things to the front when necessary. And then maybe it's gonna be a good idea just for trying, because at some point I need to isolate individual leaves, and we already have 3 different polygroups for each mesh, piece of mesh. Maybe it's gonna be better, instead of have the groups separated as different surfaces, I'm gonna group each individual leaf, just clicking on auto groups. So I will apply an individual polygroup to each leaf. So with this, it will give me more freedom, for example, to Ctrl Shift and tap on this one, so I will be able to hide the others. So, and maybe it's gonna be faster to work only on one. Like this, it's gonna be faster. So we can be here working one by one. So I have this already made. We can bring this up, maybe bring something like this. Now with the drawing dynamic, change the perspective of this H. You can see how it changes. Textiles, let them aware that for the top clients that you work, maybe the money is not a thing. Well, it depends, but how do you think the metal pricing even for the silver is affecting to your design works? The metal pricing, yeah. Today we are living moments where when we are talking about jewelry, we are talking about precious metals. People are very worried about the prices, mostly for the gold, but even for the silver. Our Fexter said before it, they are also rising the prices. I didn't have the feeling that it affected to my commissions yet, because many people are the different commissions that I am receiving, and most of them are not related directly to jewelry, but many people are today, well, not today, maybe we can say for years, and are trying to avoid the most expensive metals like gold. If we are talking, of course, the silver could be more expensive than before, but they are still affordable when you are creating designs. So maybe the people who are using silver as its primary material, they still can produce or manufacture products being casted with silver. The main problem is with the gold, but the solution about the gold, I think, are the different alloys that we are having today. You can see when we are talking about gold, never we can say 99% or 95% of the time we are not talking about pure gold. We are talking many different kind of alloys when you are just looking for the right color or the specific color. So maybe that could be the way that we can, the brands can be can avoid this problem with the prices. So playing with the different alloys, um, using silver with the baths, with the coatings, instead of producing the design with pure gold, with solid gold. So they are many times gold plated pieces. Well, depending on the kind of the kind of client, the kind of product, there are some solutions. But we have hard times when we are talking about jewelry because the price of the materials that we need to use for manufacture the kind of products that we are creating. But the brands are finding the necessary solution for that. Of course, the first is raising the prices for the finer products, but they are using different materials, a lot of coatings, and stuff like that. But as I said before, I didn't start having the feeling that, for example, my client are stopped sending me commissions as before. Okay, we can say I can have the feeling that maybe I can have a little less, but not a dramatic number, at least at this point. But the method, I know what you mean. It is a problem for the jewelry industry today. They are using, for example, coatings and gold plated, different materials plated, electroforming. When you are using a bath of metal around a piece of plastic or resin, I don't know. There are some solutions. Also, many people are using the existing gold that they have. They are melting the gold pieces that they have, just for manufacture or for creating new designs or new things that they want, or making the gift that they want to make for a person or something. And solutions like that, smart solution for big problems. But I'm not very very connected with that part of the business. Come here. Change material again. And what about you, Dexter? Are you experiencing or having problems with your customers or with your clients? You are start having the feeling that people are not ordering the same designs as before, are not requesting the same amount of job as, for example, as 1 year before. Hey Violet, how are you? I'm fine, thank you. What about you? Yeah, I'm still okay. Still. Always. We are trying to be okay. Or trying, or at least trying to. let's save this. I forgot to save. Okay, let me check your comments. There is a recurrent bot on Twitch posting links. I don't know for what, but I don't want to click on the link. I think it is because I'm not having the Twitch dashboard or the comment section open, so I'm not watching the link. Yeah, I don't care about it. So let's see. Okay, let's keep working on the lips. Well, before the lips, we can keep working on the hair. Lips, let's start working on this. Okay. We can have here the steam. This thing is going here. Come on. Yeah, okay, there you go. Okay. Yeah, that's a good way of thinking, Violet. Maybe you cannot be very happy with your job, but you love what you do, so just keep doing it. So it is one of the most important things. Maybe the condition of the job, they are not the best, but you love what you do, so it's a good thing to keep doing it, or keeping doing it. Yeah. Hey, it feels so good. Welcome. Here we are again, another year. The sculpting things with ZBrush. Have you been trying, to all of you on the chat, have you been using the latest version of ZBrush? I mean, the 2026 version. I can't using it because it doesn't work on my computer. I don't know why, but let me know if any of you are happy with it, or you are still waiting for different things or other completely different things, other features. I mean, you like bas relief, but do you mean to sculpt bas reliefs as I am doing here, or using the bas relief feature inside of ZBrush? I think, if I remember well, it was introduced maybe 3 or 4 versions before the bas relief, and I have to say that I don't like it. I never use it. I didn't find that useful for me, but it could be useful for other persons who are using a different stuff that I'm doing. But I have to say that I'm not. I didn't get good results with it. I mean, professional results or clean results, or you can call it with many different ways. But I have to say, being honest, I have been using it for maybe in specific things, very small solutions, but as a main tool for finding real solution for sculpting bas reliefs, I don't find it very useful. It could be very useful for other applications, but for ready for manufacturing reliefs, I didn't find that useful yet. You too, yeah, you agree with me. Too bad for me. Yeah, same like me, same as I. Yeah, I think you can, for example, it could be useful for when we are talking about reliefs for being applied on renderings, for rendering, maybe for video games or for, I don't know, trying to find that kind of solutions. And maybe it could be useful because it's a very fast way for grabbing the information from the canvas and convert it into a mesh, which can be used as a relief. But when we are talking about manufacturing, when like we are here trying to create a product which is going to be necessary for being manufactured, in this case with a CNC machine, I didn't find it good enough or professional enough, or I don't know how to call it, but I'm not happy with it, like you. It still doesn't exist the magical button with that you press and you create a magical perfect bas relief. Even I have been trying. Did you try AIs for producing bas reliefs? So I have been watching or reviewing many different tutorials about creating bas relief from a picture, from an image, and I didn't find good solutions, good professional, good results as well. Maybe you can save a bit of time, but not too much. I'm still prefer to make things by hand, okay, manually with ZBrush, instead of trying to find the magical button and the magical solution when you are clicking a button and you are having what you are looking for perfectly made. So today it doesn't exist yet, in my opinion. Yeah, that's gonna be the best way. Feels so good, yeah, to sculpt. It's the best way, the best solution, or the more professional solution, or you're gonna get the better results if we are sculpting what we want instead of trying to create a relief with a button. So I'm still prefer to keep sculpting. Okay, doing good. Just turn in. Hey, Amon, welcome. Glad that you like it. Glad you like it. So let's keep working on this. Maybe we can. Yeah, I'm trying to not to teach, maybe just to show or to talk about a bit different things than usual. When you are tuning in this channel, I mean the Max and Zebra channel, most of the people are sculpting characters, monster, and that stuff. So I don't want to. I don't mean that I have to say that I don't like to sculpt such kind of things. So they're funny and interesting, but I think today for me becomes very boring being watching people sculpting the same stuff over and over again. Of course, with different techniques. So I prefer to trying to find when I am trying. I used to make a searching on Google, on YouTube, trying to find people who are teaching or who are showing the completely different stuff than characters, the regular characters and monster stuff made with ZBrush. Many people are today doing the same thing. My opinion, right? But I'm still like what they're doing, of course. I'm thinking about improving the speed of the sculpting my character. Some of my predecessors say I'm not too slow. I'm doing something that should that would depends. Why are you? What do you need to be more faster than now? I think the result needs to be the most important thing. If you are spending more time, okay. Of course, we are talking about reasonable times that have sense instead of delivery times or turnaround times. But I think that the speed of sculpting is not going to be very important. If you are enjoying the process. So my predecessors say I'm too slow at doing something that should have been finished a long time ago. Well, depending on the result that you are getting, if you are getting a very good results, the result is going to be the most important thing. Of course, if you are spending a lot of time doing something and the result doesn't worth the time that you have been waiting for, maybe your predecessors or your teachers or whatever, they can be right. But if you are having good results, then you need more time for achieving that at the end. The people are going to wait for you if you are giving quality. Oops. If you are giving quality, maybe the people are gonna, maybe the waiting time is not going to be so important because the quality that you are giving to them at the end of the process will worth. But if you are looking for an answer to your question, maybe the speed is a matter of practice. Once you start practicing and practicing, you will become more and more faster doing the same thing, because the thing that you are doing will becomes repetitive and you will get more abilities, more faster abilities. Okay, let's go with this one. Let me check first if the profile, it's go to the draw, change the profile, it's okay. Maybe again. The same comment and the same questions during all of my streamings. I will give you a good solution. Let me check. Phil Sugo is asking, how do I check my metal weight now? So I will show you how, because the Kitco metal quote plugin, it doesn't work anymore, and I'm not hoping that it will be repaired in the future. I don't know when. Probably I am wrong, but considering the time that we have been waiting for the solution, maybe we can say that that plugin is dead. So what you can do for calculating your weights, when we are talking about jewelry, you have to do this. For example, about the face, you have the subtool selected, right? So you will be able to check the weight for each individual subtool. Of course, if you are looking for the whole weight for everything together, you need to make the Boolean mesh, a Boolean mesh for all of the subtools together, and then check the weight for all of them being welded or being soldered as only one single mesh. For example, just for using this subtool as an example, you can see that I have this button here, analyze selected subtool. If I press the control key, this is the bottom path of this one. The bottom path is transform, subtool, analysis, analyze, select the subtools. If you go to transform, you will find this button here. The same button that I have here on my custom interface, you will find it in yours. Clicking on the transform, analyze, select the subtool. ZBrush will ask you in what units would you like to work. So of course millimeters in this case, and ZBrush is giving us the subtools volume. In this case is 0.468 milliliters or cubic centimeters. In this case, this is the units that we can say. So, and then I have this Excel chart. I will show you. And I will give you the link where I have learned to use that chart. This is not from me, it's from another guy, another artist. Let's let me check. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, here. I double click here, and this is it comes from this guy, GTR Design Practical Rhino Jewelry Cat Tutorial. If I'm clicking here, you will go here. I will paste this on the chat, right? Just for you. Control C. And let's go here. Control D. There you go. So you will get access to this chart. He did a great job for all of us. And you need just to put here the volume that you get from ZBrush. This value 0.468, 0.468, and here you will get the different weights for silver, different alloys of gold, 9, 14, 18, 22 karat gold, and platinum. And then you will get, of course, this is a standard regular calculation based on the alloys that this guy decided to use, and that means that probably you should ask to your casting house if they are correct or not, or based on your experience, just for making different weights calculation and checking once you send your model for casting, for printing and for casting. This is going to be the best way for checking that this chart works, or how far you can go with this chart. I'm going to say that it is not 100% trustable. That means that all of the numbers when we are talking about metal are based on different alloys. You can find small variations, but just for having a rough idea of the weight that you are doing, this is going to be the best solution that you can find today. So yes, this is that you can here what you do is, for getting the weight, is multiply the volume by the density of the metal. This chart has different density values which are based on the different alloys that this guy decided to put on the chart. That means that I be careful about the numbers, but based from my experience, just for having a rough idea about the weight, it completely works. So it works, and that's it. And with this process, you will be able to calculate the weights for your models, the models that you are doing inside of ZBrush. Because I'm not very, how to say it in English, I haven't got expectations about the Kitco plugin in the future? Probably yes, but maybe the developing of the software is going to a completely different direction. That's my feeling, right? Personal feelings. I would like to be wrong, of course. Mm. But to all of us which are working for the jewelry industry, we have been using that plugin for many years, which it was very useful for all of us. At some point it stopped working. It's not the fault of the people from Max or from Pixologic, because at some point the Kitco website was updated and the plugin stopped working because it is not able to go to the website and grab the necessary information for the necessary calculations. So because they redesign and maybe rename all the stuff inside of the website of the font, and then that's the reason why the Kitco Metal Quotes plugin stopped working. It's not a problem from the plugin itself. It's a problem from the reprogrammation or from rewriting of the original font website. Hey, you're welcome. Glad to show you or to teach you or to different things, new stuff, useful things. And I have learned this from another viewer from the streamings. This is the best thing about this community, for where the people are sharing its knowledge. So we are here just for teaching or for showing to you, being here, sharing with you what we already learned. I'm saving to you time and giving to you information about possible useful tools or techniques that you didn't made before or you didn't think about them before. This is the best thing about this community. And I have learned this from another guy from the community as well. Today I'm thinking about it. Any of you, it's well writing code? Maybe you can start thinking about how to write in proper code. C script. I'm talking about coding with the C script knowledge, just for creating a new plugin, as easy as giving this number, coding, putting a chart inside of the software with different values of the different densities for each metal, and see, just with blue button here, ZBrush is going to make a simple multiply operation between the value that you are grabbing from ZBrush about the volume at the different numbers and different densities that you are having. You can put on the plugin, on the code of the plugin. But I still need to learn how to do that. even more today that you can code the plugins with Python. It's not necessary to use the C scripting language. Maybe you can use Python as well. I don't know if it's gonna be easier or more difficult, but you can do it today. You can write C plugins or ZBrush code with Python. That's the only thing that I know about Python, the name. and another thing that I know is it is the name of a snake. But I haven't got any knowledge about coding or informatic sciences. Now, maybe it could be a good challenge to start creating and writing a new code for a possible future weight calculator inside of ZBrush. Just in case if any of you, who is watching this streaming or this video, can't have time for writing a plugin for all of us, just for making our lives easier. Oopa. Okay, let me know if you have more comments or doubts about bas reliefs with ZBrush. Maybe it's time. This is going to be, of course, not going to be the last one, but almost the last one. Let's convert this piece into a dynamis, as we did before, with another subtool. Oof, let's turn this off. Let me check one thing. Okay, let's convert with the dynamis. Okay. I need to bring this to the front. Come on. I'm here. Okay. And I'm on your Instagram page. Looking for some new casted pieces? You mean some of my designs. Do you mean that? Are you looking for already casted? Or because if you don't find new stuff, maybe you can go to my personal website where you have more examples about that. Maybe some older designs, but for example, you go to my website, you go to galleries, and you go to cam and casting section. I think this is the latest pictures that I have from casted pieces or printed pieces or finished pieces, in progress pieces, design. So here you have I try to keep this page up to date. I need to revise it again. Probably I forgot to upload any image. Let me check. Maybe there are all of them here already uploaded. Here we have a bunch of many different examples about different kind of designs of mine who have been casted and printed, casted and finished. Some of them are some of my designs. Some of them are commissioned for client. They gave me the permissions to post these images, but most of the time I haven't got permission for posting images of the finished pieces or even for renders. But here, this is the better solution, a better collection that I have for casted pieces inside of my website. Remember, my website is nachoriesco.com. I will copy and paste it on the chat. Well, keep in mind that that one has been printed and casted from many different persons, many different clients, many different 3D printers, different casting machines, and so on. Each client is having their own casting house, or if we're talking about companies, they have their own casting machine or their own different printers. That means that one of the things that I have been learning during my experience working for jewelers or for jewelry companies is that there isn't general answers or general techniques which can be used always. So depending on the kind of design that you are doing, depending on the kind of machine that you are doing, depending the countries that you are working for, they're using different machines or different techniques. For me, this is one of the most challenging things about jewelry, because this is an endless questions. You always are trying to learn the right techniques or the right answer to a specific question, but at some point you find that there are many different answers to the same question when we are talking about jewelry. Probably jewelry is not going to be the only case. Probably some of you are thinking about completely different industries where you are having the same problem or the same thing. But yeah, the jewelry industry is very particular. But this is one of the things that I like the most about the jewelry industry or the jewelry commissions, because you never end to learn. You never stop learning. Okay, we are close to the end. Or maybe today is okay. We are not going to have time for complete it 100%, but maybe I'm gonna try to cover the whole process, because we still need to. I'm not, of course, 100% with the finishing yet. We still need to refine some parts, but I will show you how to complete the whole process till getting the final file for being manufactured. Right, because it will we make this thing, because here you can see here on the clothing, maybe we still need to work a little bit more and so on, but okay, roughly more or less all of the composition is already made. Maybe I can fix some small tiny details like this one. Yep. This little, maybe we can change light a little bit. Again, smoothly. Yeah, my piece looks very clean. When you are saying clean, are you referring to the casted pieces or the ZBrush models, or what? Just for giving to you information about. Are you referring to the casted pieces, clean? But that is not my success. This is the success from my clients, or my friend. Most of the time, when I have a friend who are printing my designs, and another casting house is casting the pieces, but that is a matter of find the best professionals as possible, or the people who are more worried about the small details as possible. The people who care about the details are worried, most of the time worried about the details, not just, they are not just making the casting just for charging you the necessary money, so they want that the things comes out as better as possible. Okay, let's stop here. I'm still watching something strange with the eyes, but maybe it's not going to be the moment, because we have 30 minutes left, so I will try to explain you, to show you the final techniques about how to prepare the file for, in this case, not for 3D printing, because this file is going to be milled with a CNC milling machine. The file format is going to be the same. You can use STL or OBJ formats for the files that you're going to send to the company for start the manufacturing process. But we are going to talk about which are going to be the requirements, or the best requirements. All the stuff that I'm explaining here, it's based from my experience. That means that it's the techniques, in this case the requirements that I'm learning from the clients that I'm having. Probably if any of you who are watching this live or are watching this video are having another experience with another companies or with another clients, maybe your client are thinking different like mine, but I'm always talk from my personal experience, right? That means that I don't want to say that I am explaining how to make the things properly or how to make the things right. So this is very important for me. So I am just here just for showing to you the way that I'm working and the way that I have learned from my personal professional experiences. Okay, let me check the back. No holes on the back. This is very important. We haven't got any holes on the back. Okay, looks like they are okay. Let me polish a little bit the eyes. Did you cast something? No, I didn't cast anything, and even I didn't print anything. I like to be stay beside that processes. I don't want to be involved of that process. I just want to be focused on the professional part of the process about digital sculpting. Of course, from time to time, I like to send some of my design for being casted and printed, just for checking that what I'm doing on the screen works properly in the real world in terms of weights, printing success and stuff like this, wearability when you wear something on your hand, on your chest, that you are using the right criteria about some of the design concepts that you are using when you are designing a new product. But I don't want to be, in my opinion, for me, I want to be separated from the manufacturing process in terms of making things by myself. Maybe someday, having time, it's gonna be interesting being more involved about the manufacturing processes. But at this moment, I am still want to be focusing on the digital part of the process, the digital sculpting part of the process. And I don't wear any kind of jewelry. I don't like it. It could sounds strange, maybe. Okay, let's stop sculpting. Okay, so let's say we can save this. This is gonna be the coin number 3. For example, once we are done at this point, so everything is working like this, the next step that we need to take is to start making the final Boolean operations with all of the subtools. You can see now we have made 14 different subtools. Okay, we have one of the subtool, which is the cut of the back. This is the flat butt cut. It's this one. Is the cube, which is cutting the flat vertical cut on the back. Also, we have this subtool, which is giving us the necessary diameter of the cut based on the client requirements. I have been explaining this on my previous videos, how to set up this hollow cylinder or this cut that will allow us, and we are going to that means that we have been using 12 subtools for creating this the whole relief. What I'm gonna do now, it's going to merge visible. Everything will be merged as a one subtool here, this one, and I'm going to separate the back, this one, Control Shift and tap here, the sculpting element from the meshes which we are going to use for making the cuts, the circular cut and the vertical back cut. Okay, so split hidden. So now we have two. This is the one we have been. You can see how all of this tool has been stuck. They works from the front, of course. From the back it looks very ugly, and also from the side. But the most important thing about this is for having a good success with the Boolean. This is the technique that I like to use, because I merge everything into one subtool and then I say to ZBrush close holes, because as we have been working with Dynamesh with many individual subtools, most of the time Dynamesh is giving us a non-very stable meshes. That means that we can have very tiny little artifacts or very tiny open holes. But for having a good success with the final Boolean, I prefer to merge everything into one subtool, like we have now on the screen, and now tells to ZBrush close all the possible holes that we can have on the mesh. Just clicking on this button, close holes. You can see if ZBrush starts thinking like it is making now, that means that he is making something. That means that he has found possible holes or possible imperfections. And sometimes if the imperfections are very heavy, are very difficult to fix, maybe we can find a crash of ZBrush. Hope not this case, but the ZBrush is taking too long, for example, like we are now. Maybe he is spending a little bit more time than necessary. That means that we are having probably serious issues with the mesh. And it's a matter of wait. Okay, we're having, now it's done. If ZBrush is allowing to us to move the mesh again, looks like everything is ready. So everything is done. Okay, so now next I'm going to put this on the first place, and now I'm going to separate these two meshes, because we have a cube and we have this hollow cylinder. So let's split two parts. Always okay. Negative and negative. And what I want, and I'm going to make it, I'm going to squeeze this subtool like this, and I'm going to, you can see here how faceted. And then I'm gonna start subdividing the mesh, and we already have the edges creased. You can see if I start Ctrl C, start subdividing the mesh, we are still keeping this kind of sharp edges. We're not having the problem here. So now it's time to start making the final Boolean. So here we have 7 millions. There are not too many. Maybe probably for ZBrush is not going to be too many. Just one tip, just one recommendation to all of you. I have this button here, compact. Now, if you go to preferences, memory section. No, let me put this here. Preferences. Where am I? Memory. I'm looking for analysis, thumbnail, geometry, here, and you will find this button here, compact now. So ZBrush will compact the cache memory or something related to the memory of your computer. That means when you are about to create a very heavy Boolean operation between different subtools, it's a good moment to compact the memory before clicking the Boolean button. You will have more success with the final Boolean. So compact. So ZBrush will start compacting the memory, liberating or having more free memory for the Boolean operation. And it's a matter of waiting a bit of time, maybe some seconds, but it works. And now we can go to the button of the Boolean operation. Boolean, make Boolean mesh. Okay, 7 million, there are not too many, but it's a matter of your computer specification. Of course, if you are having more power on your computer, that will take less time. In my case, not too much time. And let me check. Oh, whoop, something went wrong. Let me close the holes again. And now make Boolean mesh. Come on. Union remeshing in progress. Come on, come on, come on. Maybe something is going wrong. Maybe it's my computer that start getting tired. Union remeshing in progress. He's still thinking, I guess. Well, looks like he don't want to make the Boolean. These things only happens on the live sessions. You can see nothing here. Okay, let's take one step more. Let's decimate the mesh. So let's make, for example, 1 million here. One, and let's decimate the mesh. Probably this is the worst thing about working with Dynamesh is when making booleans you can have problems. Sometimes, not always, but the Dynamesh is great for sculpting, but it is not a very stable mesh to work with when we are about to create a Boolean operation of subtraction or some operations. But it's a matter of change the topology of the mesh and try it again. What I did here is decimate the mesh just for having as an objective, as just changing completely the topology of the mesh, going from a Dynamesh to a decimated mesh. And once we have the decimated mesh, let's try it again with another try for the Boolean. No, it's arriving to the end. So we are going from 7 millions to 1 million. Almost. ZBrush is reordering the points, writing file to disk. We are almost done. Yeah, ready. So now we have 1 million. So let's close the holes again. And now let's make the Boolean again. Make Boolean mesh again. Come on now. Go, 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 go. Yeah, I think now we have success now. So let's append this. Append here. And this is going to be the final mesh. Now we have 1 million less the part which it was behind inside of the cube of the back. So we are having 341,700 polygons, not too much. And now now it's the moment, because remember that the first of the streamings, the objective, the goal of this relief is 0.3 millimeter thick. This is we can say the requirements that we are receiving from the client. So he is looking for a relief of 0.3 millimeters. So now it's time to go to the scale master, go into the plugins, the scale master, and now it is 0.5 millimeter. Why it is thicker than why it's thicker than necessary? If we come back to the original, remember that I create this red cube, and we can see we have over the limits of the, because when we are sculpting, we are just focused on sculpting the forms, sculpting the details, but we are not necessarily aware of the thickness. And the thickness when we are talking about reliefs is going to be very important. And now we are 0.2 millimeter over the maximum high. It is a problem, but it is not a big problem, so we can fix it. So I will show you how we can fix it. So let me paint something on the screen. I'm opening this application, Epic Pen. This application will allow me to paint on the screen just for showing to you what I mean when I will show you here. So this is the red. So we are having here from the maximum farthest point till the base. Here we are having 0.5 millimeter, and we need to go from 0.5 to 0.3 millimeter, which is the maximum 8 relief that the client is requesting. So that means we need to make 0.2 millimeter. In that case, we have this volume, right? We have the volume which is from this point to this point. So of course, one of the steps that you can take is you can go to the scale master, turn this off, and tells to ZBrush, I want to go from 0.5 to 0.3. And what ZBrush will do is to squeeze the mesh till having the necessary thickness. But with that operation, we will kill and we will remove many details we have been sculpting previously during the sculpting process. So the objective, the goal of this modification is to try to go from 0.5 to 0.3, trying to kill the less amount of details than possible. And this is going to be when my technique, or when my tip, when my process comes. So that means that if I have this thickness, which is 0.5, what ZBrush will do this. We'll push this, and it will give us, using this technique, right? Using the scale master will do this. Squeeze the mesh completely, and we will get 0.3 from 0.5. But all of the details from the sculpting, from the reliefs, are more or less, we can split in the middle. The important thing is here. This is the important thing of the job. When all of the details are the head, the face, the eyes, the nose, the detail that we have been sculpting for each individual leaf, that means that we are going to try to remove or to flat as less details as possible from that half. So that means that we are going to be able to remove as many as possible details from the other half. That means it has more sense to try to push only half of the mesh and try to leave the front part of the relief non-touched. That's the rough idea, and how we can do that with ZBrush, with this strange technique that I'm about to show you. So I will show you how. Let me zoom in a little bit more. This, remember, I have this and I have this, and I want to try to remove more or less. I'm going to try to more or less from here. I'm going to try to squeeze or to flat only this, and don't try to touch this part, right? So we want to call gizmo W move brush. We have the gizmo here, but we don't need to use the gizmo in this case. Turn this off. So we are about to use the transpose line. We are going to use we're going to release the transpose line from the maximum point to the back, like this. Let me hide this. Okay, right, so we can calculate here more or less here in the middle, maybe a little bit more than the middle, maybe here. And now this is going to be very important. Keep an eye having the focal shape to 0. pressing the Shift key, the Alt key, and now grabbing this little white dot in the middle, and now push this back. In this case, to the left. Let me check again there. And now we are 0.43 millimeter. Maybe we can squeeze a little bit more. And then maybe instead of here, let me release them a little bit more. Maybe a little bit more like this. Now we are 0.39 millimeter, almost. And now how we can remove those 0.09 millimeter, because now we are 0.39. We want to remove just 0.09 millimeter. For example, maybe we can remove this amount of relief, maybe from the tip of the nose, maybe checking the relief, how it is on this. This is the nose, so this is the chin. This is the chin. So maybe we are able to remove only this, or to flat only this little portion that we have here. Maybe we will get the 0.3 millimeter. Let's check. So using the same technique as before, with the transpose line, starting point, ending point, Shift key, Alt key, and push this back. And let me check now, 0.31 millimeter. So let me remove a little bit more. 0.3 millimeter, exactly. So now we have 0.3 millimeters. I'm going to make a copy of this one, duplicate. Let me grab this one. Let's go back from history till the original. This is gonna be, this is the original 0.5 millimeter, and this is the 0.3 millimeter. Of course, we have lost a bit of detail, but not too much. You can see the details of the face are still there. The main details of the lips are still there. The details of the hair are still there. Now, but it is 0.3 millimeters. This is 0.5 millimeter, but it still works in terms of detail and instead in terms of definition. I have a kind of issue here. Let me try to fix this a little bit. Just to smoothen this. Applying one little stroke here. And we are done. And let's see what happens if we grab the original and we use the fast method, telling the ZBrush not, I want to change all, see here at 0.3 millimeter. Let me see if we have found some. You can see here the differences. You can see this is 0.3 with the squeezing option using the scale master, and this is the one that we made, making the necessary thickness manually with the transpose line. You can see the details we have saved using this process, and this is the final, ready for sending to the client file, and that's it. And now it's as easy as checking the meshes. Everything is working fine. Let me check mesh integrity, check mesh integrity test completed successfully. So now this is ready for being sent. Of course, what you can do, for example, sometimes what I do is with it, with the Sculpting Pro, I'm gonna start hiding some sections of the sculpting and turning on the Sculpting Pro, and with the smooth valleys I like to hide the borders or the limits between different subtools, like this one. You can see here the different what I'm doing. just to integrate better. For example, here it is very clear, the limits of the ear with the face. This, or maybe here you can see the limits between the neck, and here you can start applying a soft, small strokes. This, for example, the limits here. The limit is going to be necessary to apply a limit there. When you are sculpting using the Sculpting Pro, it's a good idea for using the Sculpting Pro hiding part of the mesh. Because keep in mind, when you are using the Sculpting Pro, at the same time that you are sculpting, Sculpting Pro is creating new geometry, so the calculation that ZBrush is making, it's ZBrush is making a very high amount of calculations, so it's a bit risky when you are using a mesh, not very high dense mesh, but medium high dense mesh. Maybe you are calling to the crash if you keep all the mesh visible, but the hiding part of the parts of the mesh, so you will be on a safer zone. That's the reason why I'm always hiding and showing part of the mesh and not working with the whole visible mesh at once. This is just when you are using Sculpting Pro, right? I forgot to turn on my back face mask, but this is not going to be a big issue because I can, oops. Okay, so this is the relief we have been sculpting during these 3 live sessions. I'm going to save this as another, because before making the final render, maybe I will revise it again, maybe making some little adjustments before call it 100% done. But I like to make this one day after or so, because my eyes are fresher, so I will be able to see more mistakes or more possible mistakes. There you go. This is the maybe we can use this material. Maybe we can add another extra light for a fast render. We can create a new light here, like this. Let's reduce the strength. see where it works better. Maybe here. Okay. We can. I don't want to cast any shadow from this light. Let me push this here in the center. Maybe we can go to the material menu, go into the mixer, start creating an outline with a black color like this. See, okay, something like this, maybe with maybe with this. And then we go to the render properties. We can apply a BPR filter. We can use the in this case material shading. We're gonna start mixing this material with this, for example, on the cavities. For having this kind of more, maybe applying some blurring. Let me change the material. We go change this one on the darker material. Maybe this one. No. Yes, with a lighter material. This one looks good. Maybe we can change the color. Here nothing happens. Okay. So okay, I think it's good for me. So we are done then. Let me check. No more comments, no more questions. Hope everything has been interesting to all of you. I will be here next month in February. And at this moment, it's not clear for me which design I'm about to create next. Maybe we will change from a relief to, for example, from a ring, a completely different thing. Let's see what kind of ring or what kind of pendant we're about to create. So I will wait you here next month, more or less at the middle of the month as usual. We will be here talking about ZBrush and jewelry in February. And hope you like these 3 sessions about making reliefs, portrait reliefs or coins. You just need to go to the Maxim YouTube channel just for viewing the previous streamings where we started from scratch for making this relief. And I hope you find useful and interesting the video of today and the previous videos from December and from November. So I will wait you here next month. So take care, everybody. See you. Bye.